same rate as women in countries like Mexico and Uzbekistan. Several factors drive the high maternal mortality rates among Black women, from the bias of doctors and nurses to limited access to prenatal services. Dr. Christina Pardo runs the health equity program of the OBGYN department at SUNY Downstate Hospital.
Why are certain communities more underserved?
In 2016, the New York City Health Department found women are most likely to face life-threatening complications during delivery in low-income communities of color: Brownsville, East Flatbush, East New York, and Bedford-Stuyvesant. In Bed-Stuy's Woodhull Hospital on July 2nd, Sha'Asia Washington went into cardiac arrest during labor. Sha'Asia died before meeting her baby girl, Chloe. Her family held a rally, heartbroken.
She came in this hospital 10 minutes prior to her death. She was fine. We were on FaceTime.
The risks of maternal mortality impact Black women of all ages, education levels, and even incomes. Tennis megastar Serena Williams almost died after the birth of her daughter, Olympia. Williams said after feeling short of breath, she had to insist doctors perform a CT scan after nurses initially resisted. It turned out the tennis great had several blood clots in her lungs. Dr. Pardo says many Black women have similar experiences.
They're more likely not to be listened to. They feel like they're more likely to be discriminated against.
This treatment of Black women dates all the way back to the man considered the father of modern gynecology, Dr. J. Marion Sims. Midwife Nubia Martin explains how he experimented on pregnant slaves.
He would practice surgeries on Black women without anesthesia to prove that, we have a higher threshold for pain.
Black women are no longer subjected to these outrageous experiments, but the disparities still exist.
A lot of times Black women think it's the healthcare system has beaten us down so much.
A lesson Tamoria Saba had to learn.
I suffered a postpartum hemorrhage after the birth of my oldest daughter in 2010, and I almost died shortly after the delivery.
That near-death experience changed the course of her life. After writing online about her journey and hearing from so many other Black women, Tamoria became an advocate for expectant mothers.
A lot of what I do is educating patients on what their expectations should be from their physicians.
The conversation has even made its way into the political stage. Democratic vice presidential nominee Kamala Harris recently wrote on Twitter, Black women are facing a maternal mortality crisis. We must act. Considering CDC researchers found 60% of all pregnancy-related deaths can be prevented with access to stable housing, transportation, and better health care.
I just want this to stop. The next person don't have to go through this. This is real terrible for a child to grow up without a parent.
It's a message echoed by Bruce McIntyre, who is now raising a baby boy without a mother.
She advocated for herself and she advocated for other women. So I feel like that's something that I have to carry on. I feel like that's something I have to continue for her and Elias.
There's the conversation, but now there has got to be the action. Again, it just can't happen.
Absolutely. Ayana Harry is in studio with us now to talk more about this. And thinking about those two moms that the stories, what's being done to remember them?
Absolutely. Well, over the weekend, a mural was unveiled in Brooklyn. It's actually dedicated to Sha'Asia Washington. Her family is still in a lot of pain, so that mural was really a part of their healing. And as for Amber Rose Isaac, her memory, her partner, Bruce McIntyre, he's launched the Save a Rose Foundation. It is committed to exposing these disparities that exist for pregnant women.
You know what? I think exposing it is the first step, and then making the changes I think Tamsin alluded to, that's the second step. Well, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists acknowledges that there is a widespread racial divide in maternal health care, saying, quote, racial bias with the healthcare system is contributing to the disproportionate number of pregnancy-related deaths among minority women.
Well, we showed you the numbers in New York. They are no better in the state of New Jersey. So take a look. Women of color account for 60% of all pregnancy-related deaths, and Black women are 4 times more likely to die during childbirth than their counterparts. That's according to Nurture New Jersey tonight.
Here at Pix 11, we want our viewers to know that we are committed to telling the stories of social justice and race, both locally and across the nation. You can find our special reports on issues of equality, reform, and more at pix7.com/createdequal. Well, we have more for you tonight.